Jaden, just how do you reflect just kind of on this season as a whole and really just on how it ended?
I'll say our season was, we didn't end up where we wanted to, but I'll say it's still a success just of all the stuff we went through, the injuries, and just having an up and down season at certain parts. But I think it's still successful and just getting our young guys ready as well, like TJ, Jay Clark, even Johan and all the younger guys, just seeing us make this far and then having an impact with it.
You had such a great Denver series. What made it more difficult against San Antonio for you to do what you do best?
I'll probably just say they did a good job. Well, Wemby is just probably the greatest defender like I've ever played against. So just him being so tall, so long, like it's hard to get to the rim. But that's pretty much the most part. I was able to get to my spots, but playing Wemby, he's huge. He's so tall. I mean, he's the greatest defender I've ever played against. So it just props to him.
Jaden, Finch was saying that, having growth out of you was one of the big priorities this season. It feels like, they accomplished that and you accomplished that. Just kind of, what were the areas in which you felt like you grew the most, maybe especially offensively this year?
Probably just being comfortable with the ball in my hand, playing in pick and roll. I feel like I got super comfortable in the pick and roll with Rudy or whoever's setting the screen, just being aggressive and then just learning like where my spots are on the court, like shooting my mid-range, keeping it consistent of like how many threes or to mid-range or to drives that I do, and just learning how to keep myself assertive in the games.
I wanted to ask you kind of about that, Jaden, of initiating, playing pick and roll and also being a three-point shooter. I mean, you're over 40% again this year. I guess as part one, like, do you take pride in kind of how well you shot the ball this year? And then part two, like, what is for you, do you think, that balance looking like of being a perimeter player versus all three levels?
Yeah, I would say just wanting to get better and like throughout the seasons, like teams used to put big man on me because I wasn't shooting threes that well. So I kind of didn't want that to happen anymore. So just working super hard on making sure that my technique and stuff is right when I shoot threes, and then just not falling in love with the three ball, knowing that I could still attack and like I have good touch at the rim and like in the mid range area. So just really just knowing like however the game's going, if I hit a couple threes, just know I can still attack and get to the paint and do what I do best for real.
Jaden, as a team during the regular season, what do you think is most important for maybe building better habits or just creating more of a foundation that you can tap in the playoffs?
I'll say probably just being consistent in like our habits and stuff we do. Like if that's being in rotation on defense or being into the ball or like just little things that we do during the season, and really just I feel like one thing we did well throughout the postseason and a regular season, just staying together like through adversity or through teams' runs. I know we had a bunch of games where like we probably came back from down 10 or 11. So I remember like even 20. So just staying together as a team. You want to go? Go ahead. Bye-bye. See you later.
Jaden, you've kind of mentioned a few times this season that, you could play point guard if you wanted to. Do you feel like there's space on this team and in this roster for you to have more of like that ball handling, distributing role?
Yeah, I feel like there is for sure. Just even in scenarios, a lot of teams trap Ant and like when he brings the ball up. So like just knowing that I could be a second-hand defender, ball handler of just bringing the ball up and just getting into the offense. Our offense is pretty simple, so it's not like too hard of stuff that we got to do. And just, I'm confident and comfortable with the ball in my hand, like with whoever's guarding me. So just, yeah, I feel like I could be a point guard.
More of like on the personal side, just how do you feel like you've kind of grown through this experience of this season?
I think I've grown a lot just of playing, like going through droughts of not being able to shoot well and then shooting well and just taking like the high praise and just not like I would say not letting it like get to my head a little bit. Like you see things on the internet or see people talk so good about you and stuff, so just not letting that make me too big-headed and just staying true to myself and just knowing that I still have to get better as much as good people talk about me.
End of the season is probably the best time to ask this question. How much does it take out of you to be a wing stopper on a really ball-dominant, great scorer? How much does that rob other aspects of your game?
Like, how much energy does it take? I mean, it doesn't really take too much. Like, I feel like it's a part of the game, and it's really just effort with me when I'm coming to play and guarding like the best players. And it's just a mentality that I have of taking the pride and not letting the person score. It don't matter if it's the last man on the bench or the star person. Like, I'm gonna play the same defense and the same aggression. So it don't take much out of me. I could do both.
Jaden, Nas was just in here.
I'm not sure, bro.
Nas was just in here, and he was talking about the difference between where you guys are at and getting to the Oklahoma City and San Antonio level. And he said it's about like getting rid of some of the moodiness that your team has. How does that moodiness like impact you guys, and how easy will that be to kind of get rid of?
Yeah, I would say just like for how I'll use the example, like if it's not your night, just be happy for the next person that's having a good game or whoever's stepping up that night. I feel like that's the first part, and then just really just being together. Like, I know we all cool, we're all friends and stuff, so it shouldn't really matter like who's having a good game, but I for sure think we get rid of that a little bit, we'll be way better.
Jane, we see when the ball moves on offense, you and Nas really have some of the best versions of yourselves on that end of the court, and isolation has just proven to really struggle against some of these best defensive teams in the playoffs. So how more consistently in the regular season do you guys think you can make that ball movement more your identity of what you do offensively?
Yeah, I'll say it for sure helps me and Nas a lot when the ball is moving. It's just I'll say we're just two unselfish players that like don't matter if we get the ball or not. Like, we're still gonna make something happen on the court, and just when it is moving, I feel like we make plays, the right plays for others and for ourselves, and it just helps the team in a whole, just of being aggressive and just making the right play. He's trying to be one of y'all today.
And then we do see like your ability to read and react in different situations, and like as you get into the paint, anticipatory passes, stuff like that. Is that something you learn, or is that something you just either have or you don't?
I think you can learn it, but at some point, like if you haven't put the work in, it's a thing of you have it or not. And I'll say like I feel like I have it, and just continuing to work. Like, I'll always work with Pablo on pick and roll. He's like the main one that's like he wants me in pick and roll so much, and like it's funny because we always working on it, and I feel like I've gotten better just of using the young guys. Like Rocco, he's so tall, he'll play defense. So if I could pass around Rocco, like it's pass around anybody for real. So yeah, I feel like you got to work on it. Like, you got to work on everything to get better. But it's a little bit of both though.
Jaden, you mentioned, just kind of teammates, if it's not your night, being happy for each other, things like that. Obviously, everybody in the NBA is very prideful. Guys want their minutes, guys want their shots, they want their points. How hard can that be sometimes to have a team kind of moving in the same direction along those lines, especially if guys aren't getting theirs?
You just got to know it's just what comes with basketball. I mean, every team is like that kind of in a way. Like the regular season, everyone wants to get paid. So I mean, if you don't produce or show products, I mean, it's gonna be bad. Bye bye, bro. So yeah.
What has the experience been like being a dad and playing in the NBA?
It's been fun. I mean, the road trip is like my away time. It's just like me to myself. But I'll be ready to get back home sometimes just to see him run around and just get into everything. As y'all see, he just does what he wants and doesn't listen. But it's pretty fun. Like, at first I didn't think that it would be this cool to be a dad, but it's pretty fun just seeing them learn, see how smart babies are, how strong they are, how bad they are, but it's pretty cool though.
Excited to get him into the sport at some point?
Yeah, I am. I mean, he doesn't really like to play basketball. Like, I'll give him the basketball and he'll show me he can dunk it, and then he won't ever touch it again. So I'm not gonna force him, but I feel like when he comes to the games more, he's gonna see and notice that, like, oh, I might end up liking to play basketball.
Jaden, what was it like having Dante around again? And like, how do you expect him to attack the rehab that and this long road that is ahead of him here?
No, it's good to see Dante. I mean, he's been with us every day since the injury. It just shows that like we love being around each other. And I mean, I seen him doing rehab like 3 or 4 days after. So I mean, he's on it. So he's trying to get back as soon as possible. And I think he's gonna have a great recovery. I mean, the way he's treating it and the attitude that he has about it, getting better and getting right. I mean, it's just great to see. And I mean, we all love Dante, and hopefully he has a speedy recovery.